It must be.
I think this is very insightful. Now, yes, this pandemic has taught us so many things, and now we are trying to reconceptualize the notion of education, teaching, and learning. It is easier in terms of adult or youth, but it would be certainly difficult for the young children. How is the response of parents, if I may ask this question? Are they cooperative? Are they feeling burdened? Are they taking it as a challenge? Are they taking it as an opportunity? How do you feel? How is the response of parents to this pandemic? Uh, Maybe perhaps Sir or Hira, anyone can answer this first.
I believe Hira will be in a better position to answer this question because I am not having any contact details of any parents at all.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so mothers are in touch with me, but children, of course, are not. They don't want to talk over the phone. They want to play games. But if you ask me as a mother, so I must say that I'm getting most of the time with my child, and he is taking online classes right now. And it is better, I guess, because in during the class time, so many children are there, and if one asks question, so teachers sometimes are unavailable or they don't have that much time to answer every question. But in the online thing, they have to write every question on the chat, and it's going to be answered. So in a way, they are getting individual attention. It's just that when we are at home, the environment is so cozy, and so they don't want to go online. But once they are online, they go with the flow.
Okay. This would lead to another question of screen time. How do you see screen time for young children? And sir, how do you view screen time for youth? Because they are on screen, like they are using gadget, but they are using some other medium and not for learning. So what would be your take on that?
I would request you to please elaborate this question a little further. Because
what I'm saying is that, yeah, I'm saying it that youth in your case, because you'll be dealing with youth, they do have access to gadgets. They've been using all the friends books and Facebook and all those social sites. They are using it on their own, like Insta or Twitter and all. But then if you engage them for online teaching, how will there be any resistance to it? Are they willing about it? What is their screen time? Will they be able to learn?
Yeah, definitely, because as I said earlier, that this is a very entirely new mode of learning and teaching. So it has got a very different and attractive factor of its own. Learning things online has got a charm of its own. If you look at that from that perspective, you will feel like you are introduced to a completely new world. So yes, going online on Facebook and doing things with friends on social media is something that our youth spends most of the times on. But when they are required to come online for the sake of academics, for the sake of attending classes, they are not that much reluctant. They are willing, but again, somehow attaining or somehow a kind of sharing of kind of learning is important here. You need to give them an idea that this is something important, and a kind of motivation is supposed to be there. A kind of mobilization activity needs to be done by the teachers, and then only we can expect them to be coming on track. Because I'm sorry, I may feel or sound like a little pessimistic in this particular conversation, but this is the reality of our times. Students in our area, students in our part of the world specifically, or if I should talk about Pakistan, or if I should talk about the university or the institute I'm associated with, or the generally public sector universities, the willingness to come forward, the willingness to even learn education in any perspective, in any respect, or in any way, isn't that easy to grab. So you are going to act like a preacher. You are going to act like a motivator. You are going to act like a mobilizer first to actually bring them on the platform first and then impart education. So right now, in classroom, it wasn't necessary. You just have to enter the classroom and it's a connected lecture. But right now, you cannot do things like this anymore. You actually have to bring all those people in a setup, in an atmosphere, and make them aware about the benefits of this particular structure. And then they might probably feel like comfortable enough to be a part of this activity. Like I was conducting a lecture today, and some of the students were not feeling that much happy or that much entertained. So I started opening the book in front of them, the PowerPoint presentation, and I started drawings in front of them on the screen. So the moment I started doing this thing, they were like amazed and surprised. So it was kind of a new thing for them. So they started acting like small children, and their attention, their interest, their excitement started grew further. So I took the opportunity and I tried to make the most of it and kept going. And mashallah, I covered the entire chapter today in just a period of 2 hours.
Okay.
So yes, it's completely a new world.
Yeah, there's a learning that even youth or adolescents, if they are into, their learning style has now changed. Earlier, they were listening to, they were mostly into auditory skills. Now they really need AVD, audiovisual, so they'll be able to see and connect. This connection is extremely important. Okay.
But we have to do some homework before that first.
Yes. That is actually the next question I'm trying to put. Yes. How do we motivate students? Hira, would you please comment on screen time for young kids? How do you?
Yes, it has led us to the position where we are actually hearing from the children that you were saying that the screen time should be limited, and now you are saying that we should take classes. So it's not included in that time, you know. So these are the comments we are hearing from the children, and they are saying that it is double standard. You were saying the screen time should be limited, and now you are saying that the study on the screen. So yes, it has led us to that position that we are hearing these kind of comments. Other than that, as sir was saying, I will comment on his point that yes, it is a reality check for the teachers also, because teachers, the most valuable thing in this era is the attention span, you know. So the teacher should be able to grab the attention of children, because in class the children are actually, you know, locked in a room where they have to listen to you. But in the screen time, they are looking here and there. They can, you know, start opening some other things on the screen, and you will not be knowing this. So the teacher has to be more, in his lesson, he has to have more command on the lesson, and so he could, you know, grab the attention of the children. So this is the reality check for teachers also, I guess. As sir did the lesson today, he started doing something else which amazed all the students. So yes, I think that the screen time, there is advantage of it or disadvantage, but we have to be, you know, very much on our, you know, toes for it.
That scenario where the learning has now available through online, what is a challenge for teacher, and how do we prepare teachers, be it early years teacher or be it university teacher? Sir?
Well, Ajay, since you and I have been associated with British Council, and we have been conducting trainings of a different nature. So in that particular setup or environment, our behavior was more or very much different from that of a traditional teacher. Obviously, we were not teachers, but the way we used to conduct trainings was very different, extremely different from that of a teacher. So I believe the time has come that we have to incorporate that particular role or that particular, what should I say, a kind of a mindset in today's mode of treating and learning as well. Because as I said earlier, or as Rahma mentors, that trying to grab the attention of students and making sure that they are paying full attention to whatever you're saying isn't that easy nowadays, because you cannot monitor what they are doing in front of their screen, because you cannot see them, just like it was the situation, it was the case in the classroom. So the only option that you're left with is to be exciting enough, is to be entertaining enough, to be attractive enough, so that the student himself doesn't move away, so that the student himself starts paying full attention to whatever you're saying. So right now we are not just going to become or acting like teachers only. We have to act more like trainers now here. We have to act more like the facilitators here. The exactly proper word that has come into my mind right now. So facilitator is something that we are supposed to be no matter what we are, no matter where we are, or no matter how we have been acting. So the role of or the concept or the mindset of teacher is going to somehow decline, or the behavior of a teacher is going to somehow be shifting, and we have to be more like a motivator or a facilitator than a teacher in a specific situation of online classrooms.
Thank you. Hira, your take on that? How do we prepare teachers?
Yes, the teachers now have more challenges. We have to be more than a teacher. We have to be entertainer now. So yes, we have to be more attractive. We have to be, have more depth into our lessons. And everything should be on our fingertips. So because you can be easily lose your student, and that is not very good, I think. So I'm not taking online classes, as early years are exempt from this kind of thing. But yes, when we see the Facebook or anything, we don't see the whole video if it doesn't appeal us. So it has to be, the lesson has to be